All right. So, Gen Chem people, we are going to do an online lab, and we are going to use pHET today. So, the first thing you're going to have to do when you get onto your Chromebooks, you're going to want to go to pHET, and it's pHET colorado.edu. So this is the website right here that you're going to want to go to. And at the bottom of the pHET page, you will see that there are lots of sims. There's physics sims, there's chemistry sims, there's math sims, there's earth science sims, and there's biology sims. You're going to want to go into the chemistry sims. And once you go into the chemistry sims, you're going to want to scroll down, and it's near the bottom of the sims. You're going to be looking for Rutherford. So let's scroll down. This one right here, Rutherford scattering. This is what you're going to want. So you're going to click on that one, and you're going to hit the play button. You're going to want to play this interactive sim. All of these directions will be on Canvas. If you know how to split your screen so that you have Canvas on one half and the pHET on the other, that's probably the best. I'm just going to show you this sim completely on this screen so that you can see exactly what we want to do. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is we want to choose the Rutherford atom first. And when we look at this, we will have a bunch of different things that we can play with. We have the alpha particle shooter right here, and this blue button here turns it on and off. We have our legend of the different particles that we are going to be using. So we have a nucleus, the electron energy level, alpha particle trace. We have alpha particle energies. We can make the energy smaller, pushing this slide bar to the min, or bigger, pushing it to the max. So I want to start with it somewhere in the middle. I do want to turn on my traces. So I'm going to turn on the traces. And this area right here, we can put the amount of protons that are in our atom. So when we want to start out with this, we want to start this out at about 20. So we're going to go all the way down to 20. Okay. We can have a small amount of neutrons or a large amount of neutrons. Right now, we're really not going to be worried about the amount of neutrons. Okay. Now, what I want to do after I've got my protons set to 20, I want to click on this blue button right here and get this started. I want you to look at this and see how these atoms or these alpha particles go through these atoms. We're going to let this sit for about 30 seconds or so. See if you can see a pattern. Which alpha particles are going straight through, which ones are being bent, and how are they being bent? Okay. Once we do that, now we're going to want to increase the number of those protons to 60. So I'm going to take this red slider and I'm going to go up to 60 on my number of protons. I'm going to still let this go for about 30 seconds. See if you see the same pattern, see if it's different. Okay. So by now, you should have answered questions 1 and 2, looking at these two patterns. The question 1 goes with the 20 protons. Question 2 goes with the 60 protons. Now we are going to up the proton level to 100. Okay, so now we're going to up the proton level to 100 protons and see what that does to the pattern. We'll let that sit and watch that for a minute. Okay, so does this change the pattern? Does it increase anything? Does it decrease anything? Why do you think, if it has changed, why do you think it's changed? Okay, now we're going to do this and we are going to start playing with the number of neutrons. So we've seen it with a relatively low number of neutrons. So we're going to raise the number of neutrons here. So let's see if that changes anything. So we'll keep this at 100 protons. Did it change anything from when we just had the 100 protons and a small amount of neutrons? Let's look at this pattern for a minute. Does it change? Let's take our protons down to about 60 and see if it changed that pattern at all. Do you notice if it's changed? If it has changed, why do you think it's changed? Okay, and now we're going to take the protons back down to 20 and see if that's changed at all from when we had fewer neutrons. Okay, so do you think that's changed at all? If it has changed, what has changed about it? Okay, let's up the neutrons even more. Let's see if that changes things. So do we have a change of pattern here? Let's up the protons now to about 60 and see if it changes the pattern. Does it change from when we had 60 before with even more neutrons? Okay, let's up it to 100 again. See if it changed from when we had fewer neutrons. And let that go. Okay, so you're going to answer a couple questions with that observation and see what your observation was and check it with what I have in the lab right up for Canvas. Okay, now what we're going to do is we are going to change the energy. So let's maximize this energy and see what happens to the scattered patterns. Does the scatter pattern change? Okay, what if we minimize, sorry, that's my dog. What if we minimize the energy? Because let's see what the scatter pattern does. Does that change the scatter pattern? So if the changing the energy changes the scatter pattern, why do you think it does that? Think of a reason of why or why not those patterns are changed. Okay, so that's enough of the Rutherford model. We're going to stop this and we are going to go back and we are going to see the, let's see if I can scroll this so that I can get to the plum pudding model. So we're going to do the same thing with the plum pudding model, although we can't change the number of protons and we can't change the number of neutrons, we can change the energy level. So I'm going to keep it here about in the middle. We're going to start with the alpha particles and see how those go through the plum pudding model that J.J. Thomson proposed. I'm going to turn on the tracers so that we can see the traces of these. Okay, so look at the path. Is it different from the Rutherford model? How is it different? Why do you think it's different? Okay, let's minimize the energy. See what that does. And let's maximize the energy and see what that does. Okay, so this should give you the information that you need to answer the questions on the Canvas assignment that goes along with this lab. I will have both links together, the assignment and the link to this pHET lab in the module for Canvas. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Bye.